Hello JEE aspirants, welcome back to Cutoff 360. In this video, we'll be giving you a detailed analysis of JEE Main Shift 1 21st January exam along with the expected marks versus percentile based on the difficulty level of the exam. So stay tuned till the end of this video. As the JEE Main Day 1 Shift 1 of the exam is completed, let's discuss the overall difficulty level of the exam along with the physics, chemistry and mathematics difficulty level based on the review that we have received from the candidates. So in this, first let's start with discussing the physics overall difficulty level for day 1 shift 1 exam. So we have received the first reaction from students for JEE Main 21st January shift 1 exam. So as you can see on the screen for physics, the overall difficulty level was moderate. Some of the students even said that the question paper level was easy. So we can say it as mixed reaction from candidates. The question paper paper was not too lengthy, but doable. And some of the students said that it was a bit lengthy in terms of calculation terms, but if you are thorough with and quick with the calculation, then it won't take much time for you to solve the questions. Was the questions directly formula based? Yes, the questions were directly formula based, and the total number of correct attempts can be expected between 18 to 22 for shift 1 exam. So here are some of the feedback that we have received from the students for physics. So maximum questions came from current, electricity, electrostatics, capacitors and magnetism. In modern physics, photoelectric effect, atomic structure and semiconductors were direct and NCERT based, so candidates were easily able to solve the questions. For mechanic trend, questions were kinematics, law of motion and work, energy and power were conceptual, not too lengthy as per the previous year's trends. Scoring section in physics was optics and modern physics were the most scoring with straight formula based questions. So if you're appearing for future exams, you need to make sure that you're thorough with these topics like current, electricity, electrostatics, capacitors, modern physics, optics, unit and dimension, error analysis. Moving ahead, let's discuss the chemistry overall difficulty level in the shift 1 of 21st January exam, and will be also be highlighting the important topics that were asked in the exam based on the review received from the candidates. Next, when it comes to chemistry analysis, as per the reaction received from candidates, the overall difficulty level was easy to moderate. While very few candidates said that it was tough, but we can consider it between easy to moderate. Was the question paper lengthy? So no, the question paper was not lengthy, it was doable, and the questions were directly from NCERT, and the total number of good attempts can be expected between 18 to 20 for shift 1 21 Jan exam. So as you can see on the screen for physical chemistry, the overall difficulty level was easy to moderate, where questions were directly formula based and the numericals added in that were not too lengthy, and direct substitution of questions gave easily answers to candidates who appeared for shift 1 exam today. And mole concept, thermodynamics, electrochemistry, chemical kinetics were some of the high weightage topics that were asked in the today's shift 1 21st January exam. Next, as you can see on the screen for inorganic chemistry, the overall section was NCR dominated, which means most of the questions were theory and memory based, and statement and factual based questions were asked directly from the NCERT. So if you are preparing for the inorganic chemistry, then make sure that you are thorough with the NCERT. Some of the important topics are from inorganic chemistry are coordinate compound, periodic trend, P block and metallurgy. As you can see on the screen, in the organic chemistry, most of the questions were predictable. Few reaction mechanism questions were asked, mostly name reaction and identification based questions were asked in the exam. So some of the important topics that was asked was GOC, alcohol, phenol and ether, amines and biomolecules. After the completion of physics and chemistry, now let's take a look at maths, which is another important and most anticipated topic that most of the candidates seek for after the completion of exam, with the question that whether the math question was difficult, lengthy. So in this video we'll be answering everything, so stay tuned till the end. Along with the, we'll also be highlighting the important topics that were asked in the exam. Next, let's take a look at another important section, which is maths detailed analysis as per the review received from the candidate. So overall difficulty level of mathematics was moderate to difficult. The question paper was lengthy, yes it was lengthy, and the questions were partially formula based, and total number of good attempts can be expected between 12 to 15. So In mathematics, calculus dominance is always the key factor in most of the previous year's exams also. So maximum number of questions from definite integration, AOD, limit and differential equations were lengthy and required multiple steps. So you need to be prepared accordingly. When it comes to algebra, questions from matrices, determinants and complex number quadratic equation were concept based but calculation heavy, which means it requires some calculation. So if you are appearing for the future exam, you need to ensure that you are prepared accordingly and be confident with the topics. When it comes to coordinate geometry, straight line, circle, parabola appeared in standard form but required careful solving. Some of the scoring areas where candidate felt that these questions were easy and scoreable. So topics are vectors and 3D geometry were comparatively easier and formula based, but for the quick mark it is always recommended to scan the paper before start solving it. If you are appearing for the tomorrow exam, then you must ensure that you are thorough with definite integration, matrices, determinants, vectors and 3D, complex number, straight line and probability. Now you are aware of the physics, chemistry and mathematics difficulty level. Let's sum up all the difficulty level of subject in one place and understand what is the overall difficulty level of the JEE Main Day 1 Shift 1 exam and how much difficulty level can be predicted for the upcoming shifts. So here is the overall difficulty level of JEE Main 21st Jan Shift 1 exam. So the overall difficulty level was moderate, where physics section was easy to moderate. It was a mixed reaction. So in the initial phase we have mentioned it as moderate, but as we started getting more reactions, we have come to a conclusion that the overall section was easy to moderate. The chemistry section difficulty level was moderate and maths was comparatively tough than physics and chemistry. So as you can see on the screen, we have discussed in detail about the JEE Main 2026. This particular shift, max versus percentile based on the difficulty level of the exam. So for 60 to 55 correct attempts, candidates will get 240 to 220 marks, which will lead candidate to secure 99.9 to 99.91 percentile in JEE Main session 1, this exam for this particular shift. So in this particular video we are highlighting only for this particular shift based on the difficulty level of the exam. So for 55 to 50 correct attempts, candidates are expected to get 220 to 200 marks, which will lead to candidate get 99.91 to 99.8 percentile. For 50 to 45 correct attempts, candidates are expected to get percentile range between 99.8 to 99.59. For 45 to 40 correct attempts, candidates will get 180 to 160 marks, which will lead candidate to get 99.59 to 99.2 percentile in JEE Main exam. And for 40 to 35 correct attempts, candidates will get 160 to 140 marks, which will lead candidate to get 99.21 to 98.5 percentile in JEE Main session 1 exam. Next, for 35 to 30 correct attempts, candidates will get 140 to 120 marks, which will candidate to secure 98.5 to 97.25 percentile in JEE. Whereas for 30 to 25 correct attempts, candidates are expected to get 97.25 to 95.2 percentile in JEE Main exam. For 25 to 20 correct attempts, candidates are expected to get 95.2 to 91.65 percentile in JEE Main exam. And for 20 to 15 correct attempts, candidates will get 80 to 60 marks, which will lead candidate to get 91.65 to 85.95 percentile in JEE Main session 1 exam based on the moderate difficulty level. Candidate must note that this is only specifically for the moderate difficulty level of the question paper. For if the future shifts are hard or easy, then we'll be giving a different percentile range for based on the difficulty level of the shift. Next, for 15 to 10 correct attempts, candidates are expected to get 60 to 40 marks, which will lead candidate to get 85.95 to 78.05 percentile in JEE Main session 1 exam. So thank you for watching the video. If you like the video and the data present in it, then make sure to like and subscribe the channel. Also, if you want to know the expected percentile or cutoff or any other information related to NIT, double IT or triple IT, then make sure to comment down the same in the comment section and our team will be replying for the same.